The encounter, the night air was cold in the spaceport city. Neon signs hummed above dark alleys. Vents blew warm steam, then went quiet again. Trash skittered when patrol drones passed. Aaron walked with his hands in his jacket, head low, trying to look smaller than he was. He had no home, only a corner near Dock 12 where the wall blocked the wind. He knew where to find food when the market closed, and he knew which guards were lazy. He knew the city like a map printed in his bones. He did not plan to be a hero. He only wanted to make it to morning. He heard it first. A thin sound. Not a cat, not pipes, a voice. It was soft and frightened, like a thread ready to snap. "Please," the voice whispered. "Help," Aaron stopped. He looked down the alley to his left. It was narrow, wet, and full of shadows. He waited. Maybe it was a trick. Maybe thieves were hiding, waiting for a fool. But the voice came again, a little weaker. "Help, I cannot see." He moved forward, slow and careful. He kept one hand near the small tool blade he carried. His boots touched water and glass. He turned the corner and saw a figure sitting against the wall. It was a girl. She was small and thin, and her clothing looked like something from off-world. Smooth and bright, now torn and dirty. A band of dark cloth was tied over her eyes. Her skin had a faint glow, not like a light, but like the last bit of sunset. She held one hand against her side, and her fingers trembled. Aaron felt the warning rise in his chest. Alien. Not local. Not safe. He could walk away. He should walk away. "Who's there?" the girl asked. Her head turned a little, as if she was trying to face him with ears, not eyes. "Please, I need a healer. Before sunset tomorrow." "I will pay." "Pay?" Aaron said. His voice came out rough. He had not spoken to anyone today. "Yes." She took a small breath. "I have a chip. I dropped it. I cannot find it. But I can pay later." "I will." Aaron glanced behind him. The alley was empty. The street beyond was busy with late trucks and the slow drift of drones. He looked back at the girl. Her knees were scraped. There was a burned mark on her side, like a line of heat had kissed the fabric. Not a random wound. It looked precise. It looked like someone had aimed at her. "What happened to you?" he asked. "Hunters," she said. The word shook. "They are near. Please do not leave me." He swallowed. The sensible part of his mind screamed. Hunters meant trouble. Trouble meant pain. Pain meant nights without food, days without the little safety he had. But the girl reached out with one hand, searching the air like a person draws a shape she cannot see. Her hand stopped near his chest, as if she could feel the warmth of him. "You are kind," she whispered. "I can hear it." "Nobody hears kindness," he said. But the words felt weak, like paper in rain. He crouched and moved closer just a step. The faint glow on her skin made the wet bricks look silver. He noticed a bracelet on her wrist. It was thin, metal, scratched, and marked with a small pattern. Aaron had seen many marks in this city, gang tags, crew symbols, port stamps, but he did not know this one. The unknown mark bothered him. "What's your name?" he asked. "Lyra," she said. She said it like she was not sure she should. "And you?" "Aaron?" "Aaron," she repeated as if tasting it. "Thank you for not walking away." He almost laughed. "I haven't helped yet." "You came closer," she said. "Most do not." He looked at the band over her eyes. "You're blind?" "For now," Lyra said. "The band blocks the light that hurts me. A healer can fix it. If we reach one in time." "In time?" he asked. "My sight will not return if we are late," she said. "And the hunters will find me easily if I cannot see." He stared at the street again. A drone drifted by, green lights blinking, and he pressed back into the shadow. When it passed, he made a choice that did not feel like a choice at all. "Can you stand?" he asked. "Not well." "I can carry you," Aaron said. "But we move my way." Lyra nodded. "Your way." He slid his arms under her, light and careful. She was not heavy. She was too light. He lifted her onto his back, and she held his shoulders, her hands cold and shaking. The faint glow of her skin brushed his cheek. It was warm like a small fire. "Hold tight," he said. "I will," she whispered. Aaron stepped out of the alley and blended with the night. He knew which streets had broken cameras. He knew which vendor tarps hung low enough to hide a face. He knew how to walk like a shadow. He set a slow, steady pace and listened. Every buzz, every cough, every drip of water mattered. "Where is the healer?" he asked. "In the old district," Lyra said. "Near the river of pipes. There is a tower with a cracked blue symbol. The healer is behind it." Aaron pictured it. He had been there once to sleep under a stair. The old district was a maze of factories that breathed like sleeping beasts. It was far. It was also the kind of place where you could vanish. Good, he said. We'll cut through the market and the underbridge. Lyra was quiet for a moment. Thank you, Aaron. Don't thank me yet, he said. We are not safe. They passed a group of men arguing near a freight door. One looked up, eyes narrowing. Aaron turned his shoulder to hide Lyra's face. He kept moving, calm and tired-looking, the way people ignored. The man went back to his talk. You do this a lot, Lyra whispered. What? Disappear while walking. Helps me stay alive, Aaron said. Then we will live, she said, simple and sure. They reached the market edge. Most stalls were closed, sheets pulled down, lights off. A few still sold late food to night workers. Smells of oil and sugar and spice rose in the air. Aaron used the tarps like curtains, slipping from one shadow to the next. A patrol drone floated close, scanning. He felt Lyra's fingers tighten. He held still until it drifted away. They crossed under the bridge. The water below was black and loud. The bridge shook when heavy trucks rolled. Aaron's legs burned from the weight, but he did not slow. He could feel Lyra's breath on his neck, soft and quick. He could feel time sliding past them like rain. Aaron, Lyra said. Someone is following. He looked back. He saw nothing but darkness. How do you know? I hear the pattern of steps, she said. 3 pairs, fast, quiet. Aaron's skin prickled. He could not see them, but he believed her. He took a sharp turn, then another into a service lane between warehouse walls. He cut through a half-open door into a long corridor that smelled like metal and dust. He knew this place. He had slept here once when the winter wind bit through his blanket. We'll hide, he said, lowering his voice. Just for a minute. He slipped behind a stack of crates and crouched. Lyra's heartbeat pressed against his back. Footsteps entered the corridor, soft, sure. They stopped not far away. A light clicked. It swept the walls. It lingered on the floor near their crates. Aaron held his breath. He did not move. He counted in his head. 1, 2, 3, the light passed. The steps moved on. A door closed. Aaron exhaled slow. His legs shook. He stood, lifted Lyra again, and went out the rear door into the night. Thank you, Lyra whispered. You are very brave. I'm very stubborn, he said. They reached the old district line at last. The air changed. The city noise faded into the low sigh of heavy machines. Pipes ran like rivers over their heads, clanking now and then. Far off, Aaron saw a cracked blue symbol on a square tower. There, he said. Yes, Lyra breathed. The healer is close. Aaron took 3 more steps and froze. Across the street on a wall he saw a small painted mark. It matched the pattern on Lyra's bracelet. Fresh paint. A sign, a warning. A claim. His mouth went dry. He did not know what it meant, but his bones told him one thing. Danger. He adjusted his grip on Lyra and stepped into the shadow of the tower. Stay quiet, he said almost to himself. We're not the only ones looking for the healer tonight. The weight of secret steam sighed from the tower pipes like a giant's breath. The cracked blue symbol glowed weak on the wall, and Aaron kept to the shadows under it. He felt the city watch him, the way a cat watches a mouse about to run. Lyra lay on his back, light as a ghost, but her presence felt heavy. Not weight, meaning. Do you trust the healer? He asked, voice low. Yes, Lyra said. But the gate is not easy. Healers here test souls. Souls? Aaron said. I have no papers. Only a soul, maybe. That is what he wants, she said. Not paper. Aaron wished paper would do. Paper was simple. He studied the fresh painted sign that matched Lyra's bracelet. It felt like a hand on the back of his neck. He moved. They took a narrow stair down the tower's side. Steps were slick with oil rain, each one humming under the weight of machines. A small door waited at the bottom, made of black metal. A tiny camera stalk bent from above it like an insect. No lock, no handle. Only a round plate the size of a coin. Lyra touched Aaron's wrist. Place your hand. Me? Not you? Healer needs the carrier first. Aaron stared at the plate. He wiped his palm on his jacket and pressed. The metal was warm. Something like a pulse pushed against his skin, not a shock. More like a slow drum beat feeling his rhythm. The door stayed shut. Name, said a voice from nowhere. Old. Calm. Close to his ear and far away at once. Aaron, he said. Not your city name, the voice said. Your true name. Aaron went still. True name? He had never felt like he had one. People called him boy, trash, hey, ghost. He breathed out. I don't know my true name. Silence. Then good, a lie would have burned you. A soft click. The door slid open. Cold air drifted out, smelling of metal dust and clean water. Aaron stepped inside slow. The door closed behind them with a long sigh. The corridor was lit by thin strips along the floor. It was quiet in a strange way, like the place had swallowed all outside noise. Aaron's steps seemed too loud. He carried Lyra past empty rooms with glass walls. Some held floating tanks. Some held dark shapes. None held people. What is this place? He whispered. A clinic, Lyra said. And a maze. The healer moves the halls. It keeps hunters lost. Smart, Aaron said. He did not feel smart. He felt like a rat in a scientist's hand. At the corridor's end was a round room. At the center stood a figure in a light robe, head-shaved, eyes bright. Not human eyes. The pupils were thin as wires and moved like clock hands. Aaron set Lyra down on a padded bench. The figure watched with a slow, curious tilt of the head. You carry like family, the healer said. The voice was the same as the door, calm, old. But you smell like alleys. Both can be true, Aaron said. The healer's lips curled almost a smile. Lay her flat. Aaron helped Lyra lie down. The healer touched the dark band over her eyes. Their fingers were long and thin, the nails like tiny chips of glass. They did not remove the band. Instead, they pressed the skin at Lyra's temples, left, then right. Lyra breathed out, some pain falling from her face. Poison light, the healer said. A rare kind. Paid for by rich fear. Aaron felt the words like a weight. Can you fix it? Yes, if you bought enough time. What does that mean? It means the poison sets a clock in the nerves, the healer said. It hardens with hours. So did you buy enough time? Aaron looked at Lyra. We ran, he said. We hid, we did not stop, the healer nodded. Good, then maybe. They turned to the wall and tapped a panel. It slid away, showing a shelf of small glass orbs. Inside each orb was a different light, amber blue, pale green, smoke white. The healer chose two. They held one above Lyra's band and passed the other over Aaron's hands. What are those? Aaron asked. Echo ink, the healer said. It writes with light. It will pull the poison out, and it will write truth on skin if needed. Truth? Aaron repeated. He did not like the sound of that. Lyra's fingers found Aaron's sleeve. Aaron, she whispered, voice thin. If I sleep, do not leave. I won't, he said. His voice felt larger than he was. I promise, the healer began. They moved the orb in a slow circle over the band. The light inside spun like a small galaxy. The room dimmed, then brightened, then dimmed again with each pass. Lyra's glow flickered like a candle fighting wind. Aaron stood still and watched the door. He listened for the city, but the walls held the world back. He could hear only Lyra's breath and the soft click of the healer's nails. Then he saw it. On Lyra's wrist, where the thin metal bracelet sat, a faint symbol burned through the skin, same shape as the painted mark outside, only sharper. It pulsed once like a heartbeat, and Aaron's stomach turned. What is that? He asked, pointing. The healer's eyes flicked to it and back. Oath thread, they said. A family claim. Family, Aaron said, bitter and small. So the family is near. Family is many things, the healer said. Sometimes a temple, sometimes a cage. The light in the orb changed from blue to pale green. Lyra winced. The healer's hands moved faster now, tracing small signs in the air above her face. The echoes left thin green lines that hung and then sank like rain into the band. Almost, the healer said. She is strong. Lyra's grip on Aaron's sleeve eased. Her breath deepened. Aaron let a little tension slip from his shoulders. He let himself imagine a door opening, a street filled with normal noise. He let himself imagine giving Lyra water, food, and safe sleep. He let himself imagine 3 soft knocks touched the world. They were not on the door. They were not on the wall. They were inside the metal itself, like a code tapped with a ghost hand. The healer's head snapped up. Their pupils narrowed to wires. They set the orb down and the light inside went still. Hunters? Aaron asked, mouth dry. Not hunters, the healer said. Worse. The room's lights shifted to red. A thin alarm hummed low and ugly. The door did not move. The wall behind Aaron changed, melting into a black screen. On it, 3 white symbols appeared. The same pattern as Lyra's bracelet, turning. Aaron's heart pounded. What does it mean? It means the family has found their lost thread, the healer said. They are calling her home, Lyra stirred. No, she whispered. No home? The healer moved to the bench. I can cut the thread, they said. But it has a price. What price? Aaron asked. Her father will hunt until he breaks this city. He will pay anyone. He will buy the law. And he will buy you. Aaron felt cold. His mind tried to run and hit walls. He already hunts, he said. So cut it. The healer studied Aaron, not Lyra. You speak fast for a boy with nowhere to go. I have somewhere, Aaron said. Away from here. Then you must leave at once, the healer said. When I cut, the signal will scream. Doors will open for men with guns. Can she walk? For a little, the healer said. Vision will be weak. But it will return. If she lives. If she lives, Aaron repeated, anger biting his tongue. You said we bought time. You did, the healer said. But wars also buy time, and then they spend it. The 3 white symbols on the wall flashed brighter, then went black. A new sound slid through the clinic. Not knocks. Not alarms, a song. A child's song, wrong and sweet, like a lullaby sung by a wire. It crawled under the skin. Lyra flinched. They turn my voice, she whispered, shaking. They use recordings. They call me with my own sound. Aaron bent close. Do not listen, he said. Listen to me instead. Stay with me. Lyra nodded, small and brave. The healer lifted the band with 2 fingers. Beneath it there was darkness where eyes should shine. Not empty, hidden. The healer raised the second orb and cracked it like an egg. Light spilled, thick and slow, and the air smelled like rain over hot stone. Ready? The healer said. When I say run, run. Aaron bent and slid his arms under Lyra again. He could feel her shaking. He could feel his own hands shake too, but he tightened them. Aaron, Lyra whispered. If we fail, we won't, he said. He did not know if it was truth or hope. He chose truth. The healer sliced their glass nail across the glowing thread on Lyra's wrist. The clinic screamed. The walls shook. The floor lights died. Somewhere deep, a heavy door crashed open. The lullaby twisted into sirens. The small metal door behind them spat sparks. Run, the healer said, voice steady at last. Out the east duct. Do not take the main hall. Do not look back unless you wish to see who truly owns this city. Aaron did not look back. He ran. The first chase, the clinic screamed like a living thing. Red lines crawled along the walls. Pipes thumped. Doors unlocked for people Aaron did not want to meet. The healer pointed to a low grate on the right. East duct, the healer said. Fast. Aaron bent, hooked his fingers under the grate, and pulled. It came free with a groan. Cold air rushed out. He slid inside with Lyra on his back. The metal was tight and rough on his knees. Behind them, the healer pressed 2 fingers to the wall. I'll fold the halls, they said. I can slow hunters, not stop them. Go. Aaron nodded, then crawled. The duct was narrow and dark. His breath hit the metal and bounced back at him, hot and quick. Lyra's arms were tight around his shoulders. Tell me when to turn, he said. I can hear the building, Lyra whispered. Left, then straight. Then a drop, they moved. Screws scraped his sleeves. Once a fan blade spun slow like a lazy knife, and Aaron stopped it with a rag and pushed past. The alarm changed pitch, lower, closer. Drop ahead, Lyra said. 3 meters. How do you know? I hear the airfall, she said. The space is bigger. Aaron reached the edge and looked down. A vertical shaft fell into a dim blue glow. A ladder ran along one side, slick with oil. Hold tight, he said. I am holding, she said. I will not let go. He swung his foot to the ladder, found a rung, then the next. The metal shook with each step. Halfway down, the duct above them groaned. A panel slid aside. A small eye like a glass bead peered in. A probe. It blinked green, then red. Move, Aaron said. He dropped the last 2 meters and landed hard. Pain shot up his legs, but he stood. The floor was a narrow catwalk above a deep trench where blue coolant ran like a slow river. Cold mist curled up from it. A door ahead flashed a green line. Locked. To the left, the catwalk bent around a big cylinder tank with warning signs in 3 languages. To the right, the catwalk ended at a grate with bolts like knuckles. Right, Lyra whispered. Behind the grate. Bolts, Aaron said. I can't, he reached for his blade. It was small. Useless for bolts. The alarm throbbed again. Footsteps rang above, heavy and fast. Aaron's mind snapped awake in the way it did on the street. He looked at the warning signs. He looked at the tank. He looked at the cold mist. "Close your mouth," he said. "Breathe slow." He cut a cloth strip from his sleeve and tied it over Lyra's face above the band. He did the same for himself. Then he stabbed the blade into a rubber joint on a small line that fed the tank. The line hissed and a thin stream of coolant fog burst out, thick and white. It spread across the catwalk like a low cloud. "Now," he said, "we're smoke." He dug in his pocket and pulled a handful of black grit. It was not dirt. It was magnet dust he stole months ago from a broken drone. He threw it along the grate bolts. The dust clung and grew in tiny spikes like hair. Footsteps hit the ladder. Voices followed, calm, professional, east duct, cold trail. "They are near." Aaron slid the blade flat into the bolt head and used the dust as grip. The bolt turned, slow but steady, 1, 2, 3. His fingers burned, then went numb. The fog covered him like a blanket. The first hunter stepped onto the catwalk. Aaron could not see him, only the shape of a long rifle and a mask with a rectangle light. The mask hummed and sent out a soft ping that touched the fog, then washed back as noise. "Coolant leak," a hunter said. "Bad red. Push through," another said. "Target is priority." Bolt 4 came free. Aaron pulled the grate. It swung open with a small squeal. "Inside," he whispered. He slid through with Lyra, pulled the grate back and held it in place with 2 fingers. He did not breathe. The hunters moved past, boots ringing soft. One paused. The rectangle light turned, slow. It stopped on the grate for 1 long second. The second hunter spoke. "Warden is inbound." The light moved on. Aaron waited until their steps faded, then let air back into his lungs. His hands shook now that they were allowed. Lyra pressed her forehead to his shoulder. "You made fog," she said. "I steal things," he said. "Sometimes they save me later." The crawl space beyond the grate sloped down. It was warm and smelled like old metal and citrus cleaner. In the distance, something hummed like a giant bee. "Warden," Lyra whispered. The word made the air colder. "He is not a man." "What is he?" "Half man, half law. All loyal to my father." Aaron did not like that at all. They slid until the crawl space opened into a chamber. Here the floor was a grid over a pit full of cables and pipes. A small maintenance sled rested on a rail to the left, just big enough for 2. "Good," Aaron said. "A ride." He helped Lyra onto the sled, then climbed behind her. The sled had no key. It had a panel with 2 simple buttons, start and stop. He pressed start, nothing happened. He pressed again. The panel blinked a tiny red light. A code appeared, 127. "Of course," Aaron muttered. "A lock." He looked under the panel and found a cluster of wires. He pulled 2 with his teeth and twisted them. The red light blinked faster. He touched a 3rd wire. A spark bit his finger and the panel flashed green. The sled jumped forward, then settled into a smooth glide. It rolled along the rail into a dark tunnel that curved like a throat. "Hold," he said. Lyra leaned back against him. "I can see shapes," she whispered. "Light is like smoke to me. But I see your outline. You are tall." "I'm not tall," he said. "You are tonight," she said. Her voice was small, but there was a smile inside it. The tunnel opened into a wider passage where other rails crossed. Some sleds sat still like sleeping beetles. Others moved with slow drivers in gray coats. Aaron kept their speed low and their heads down. He tried to look like he belonged. It worked for 50 meters. Then a sharp click cracked the air. The rail ahead turned red. The sled shuddered and locked. A gate slid down in front of them, bars glowing faint blue. The gate did not belong to maintenance. It belonged to power. A shape dropped from the ceiling behind them. It landed without sound. Aaron turned. The warden stood there. He was tall, wrapped in dark armor that fit like skin. His face was a smooth mask with no eyes, only a long vertical slit that breathed mist. Lights under the armor moved like slow blood. A badge sat where a heart should sit. It held the same symbol as Lyra's bracelet, rendered in cold steel. "Carrier," the warden said. His voice was deep and tired like old engines. "You have something that is not yours." Aaron's mouth was dry. He reached for his blade even though it would do nothing. "She has a name." The warden tilted his head. "Names are for families." Aaron felt anger rise, clean and hot. "Then maybe your family is wrong." The warden did not answer. He lifted one hand. A small drone slid from his wrist and hovered, lens opening like a flower. It scanned Lyra. She flinched. "Lyra," the warden said, voice softer. "Your father is worried." Lyra's hand shook, but her voice did not. "He is worried for his power. Not for me." "Power keeps you safe," the warden said. "Power cages me," she said. Aaron looked at the gate controls. A panel sat to the right, locked under a clear shield. A cable ran from it to the rail. He could reach it if he moved fast. He could also die. The warden stepped closer. "Carry her," he said. "Give her to me. You will live soft. Warm bed, clean food. Enough money to buy a name." Aaron thought of nights under the dock, wind knifing his bones. He thought of guards who kicked first and asked later. He thought of the healer saying truth burns lies. He also thought of being warm. Of sleeping once without fear. Lyra's fingers found his sleeve. They were cold. They were real. Aaron made his choice. "Here," he said, and held out his empty hand like he was surrendering. The warden took one step. Aaron moved in the same breath. He yanked the clear shield, snapped it on its hinge, and slammed his blade into the cable. Sparks jumped. The panel flashed. The gate bars flickered and went dark. Aaron hit start with his palm. The sled jerked forward hard. The warden reached out but missed by a handwidth. The sled shot under the dead gate and into the next tunnel. The warden's voice followed, low and even. "Run then. I enjoy the hunt." The sled picked up speed. The tunnel walls blurred. Light streaked by like fast rain. Somewhere behind, metal feet hit rails and heavy doors opened. "Aaron," Lyra said, breathless. "You keep your word." "I try," he said. "You will need more than trying," she said. They woke the city. Ahead, the tunnel split. One path rose toward faint daylight. The other fell into dark. A sign above them pointed up port security, down Waste River. "Pick," Aaron said. "Down," Lyra said. "Security is bought. The river does not take bribes." He turned the sled onto the down rail. The air grew wet and cold. The sound changed from metal to water. A roar waited below. Aaron saw it a heartbeat later. The rail ended at a spillway. The sled would drop onto a maintenance track that ran beside a fast black river. The river led to the outer pipes, the places Aaron used when he had to vanish for days. "Hold tight," he said. "I am holding," Lyra said. "I will not let go." The sled hit the curve hard, wheels screaming. Aaron's shoulder slammed the side. Lyra cried out and then bit it back. The sled steadied. They rolled beside the river, past old warning lights and dripping chains. Behind them, far but not far enough, the warden's steps hit the rail again. Aaron looked ahead and saw a door with yellow stripes and a keyhole shaped like a triangle. Above it, someone had painted a small, fresh symbol, the same family mark over a mess of old tags. "They paint it everywhere," Aaron said. "They own everything." Lyra turned her bandaged face toward him. When she spoke, her voice was small and fierce. "Then we take something they do not own." "What?" "Choice," she said. The sled crossed a metal bridge. Below, the Waste River foamed and slammed rock. The bridge shook. The door with the triangle lock slid open. A figure stood there in a long coat. Not the warden. Not a hunter. A woman with silver hair and a scar that ran from cheek to ear. Her eyes were human, sharp and awake. "Aaron!" she called over the roar. She knew his name. "If you want out of this city alive, turn left. Now." "How do you know me?" He shouted. "Because the healer sent me," she said. She lifted a small device. Light blinked on it. "And because there is a tracker in your blood." Aaron's heart hit something inside his chest so hard it hurt. "What?" "When you touched the doorplate," she said. "They marked you to find her again. You're a beacon." The warden's footsteps grew louder. Lyra's fingers tightened. "Aaron," he looked left. He looked at the river. He looked at the woman with the scar holding the device that said he was a light in the dark for every hunter in the city. "Choose," she said. Aaron turned the sled. The gate with no name. Aaron turned the sled left. The track split, sharp like a knife. The sled jumped a lip, slid sideways, then caught the new rail with a hard bang. Cold spray rose from the Waste River and hit his face. The woman with the scar ran along a narrow ledge, keeping up with them for 3 breaths, then leaped to a metal stair and disappeared into shadow. "Follow her," Lyra said, voice tight. "She knows a way." "She also knows my name," Aaron said. "She knows more," Lyra whispered. "And we have less." The tunnel curved into a long, low hall. The air tasted like rust and rain. On the wall ahead, a small circle of light pulsed twice, then once, then twice again, like a heartbeat with a skip. The sled rolled under it. The track ended at a platform made of grates. The sleigh coasted and stopped. "Now what?" Aaron said. A door beside the platform unlatched with a click. The woman with the scar stood inside, coat dripping, silver hair slicked back. Up close, Aaron saw the edges of old burn marks under her collar. She held the small device that had warned him. "Inside," she said. Fast, Aaron hesitated. The river roared behind him. Far down the tunnel, metal feet hit rails. The warden was still coming. Aaron carried Lyra through the door. The woman shut it and spun 3 locks. The room beyond was narrow and tall like a throat. Pipes climbed the walls. A ladder ran up the middle past iron platforms and dead lights. The woman pointed up. "Climb," she said. "Do not touch the yellow pipe. It screams." "Who are you?" Aaron asked. "I am called Mora," she said. "I cut lines for a living." She held up the device. "And I owe the healer a favor." Aaron did not trust favors. He trusted gravity. He trusted hunger. And he trusted promises he had made with his own mouth. He nodded and started up the ladder. Each rung shook under his boots. Lyra held tight on his back. Her breathing came slow and steady now. Like the healer's work had pushed a storm away for a while, she kept her head turned toward the light above as if she could feel a cleaner sky. "Your eyes?" Aaron whispered. "Shadows to shapes," Lyra said. "Shapes to lines?" "I see a little. Not enough." "Enough to keep moving," he said. They climbed past a floor where old chairs sat in dust facing a dead screen. They climbed past a floor with a door welded shut. They climbed until Aaron's arms burned and his legs trembled. Mora climbed behind them like she had been born on ladders. At the 3rd platform, Mora touched Aaron's boot. "Stop here." Aaron stepped onto the iron grate and nearly fell. The platform tilted. He set his weight and found balance. Mora moved past him to a square panel the size of a window. It had no screws. Only a strip of smooth black glass. "Tracker first," she said. Aaron swallowed. "In my blood?" "Not deep," Mora said. "Door plates take skin. They write a key across your tiny veins. It washes out in a day, but you do not have a day." She pulled a small case from her coat and opened it. Inside were thin tools like needles, a coil of wire and a vial of clear fluid with a dark fleck at the bottom. Mora snapped on black gloves. "Hold him," she told Lyra. Lyra slid down from Aaron's back and stood with both hands on the rail. She was unsteady, but she found her ground. "I can hold the rail," she said. "Hold him?" "I am not heavy." "It is not about weight," Mora said. "It is about truth." Mora took Aaron's left wrist. Her gloves were warm, not cold. She pressed a point over his pulse. A faint circle lit under his skin. Lines rose like pale threads, making a strange map on his arm. Aaron stared. He had never seen his blood write a pattern before. He did not like it, "See?" Mora said. "Key lines." She dipped the needle in the clear fluid. The dark fleck melted into it, turning the liquid a soft smoke gray. "This is echo salt," she said. "It talks back to the key. It tells it to sleep." "Does it hurt?" Aaron asked. "Everything hurts," Mora said, "but this only a little." She slid the needle under his skin and traced the bright circle. A chill ran up his arm and into his chest like he had swallowed ice water fast. He grunted. Lyra's hand touched his shoulder, light and steady. "It will pass," she whispered. Mora pulled the needle free. The bright circle dimmed. The pale thread sank out of sight. "Better," Mora said. She held up the device. Its light blinked, then went dark. "Your glow is gone, Warden," Aaron asked. "Still coming," Mora said. "He does not need your glow now. He knows the ways you will choose." Aaron frowned.
"How?" "You took the river," Mora said.
"Only 3 exits from this cut. One is owned by security. One is owned by the mob. One is owned by no one." She nodded at the glass strip. "This is the 3rd one. Owned by no one," Lyra repeated. "A place with no name." Mora smiled with half her mouth. "Good ear. Good truth." She pressed her palm to the black glass. For a breath, nothing. Then a vein of red light crawled under the surface and formed a simple shape. A circle with a tiny door drawn inside it. "Speak," the glass said. Mora leaned close. "I return the debt." The glass was silent. Then it pulsed once. "Payment?" "2 lives and a light," Mora said. "I bring them to the gate," the panel whispered like paper torn in a whisper. Then it slid open, showing a narrow passage lit by dull pearls in the ceiling. "Go," Mora said. "I will close behind you." They moved into the passage. It was clean and old and smelled faintly of rain on stone. Aaron felt his shoulders loosen with each step, like the place itself told his bones to rest. He did not trust that feeling. He kept his blade in his hand, small as it was. "What is this?" he asked. Mora's voice came from behind. It has many names. The one I like is the gate with no name. It is a path only given, never taken. I do not like gifts, Aaron said. Good, Mora said. Then you will pay for it. That makes it yours. They reached a round door of beaten metal. Symbols were scratched on it in a dozen hands. Stars, ships, a child's drawing of a house, a set of numbers, a handprint small as a leaf. Lyra reached out and touched the handprint slow. So many left, she whispered. Some left, Mora said. Some were taken through. Some came back to open it again for others. That is how this stays alive. She tapped the edge of the door. It groaned and rolled aside. Warm light fell on them, soft like sunset on water. The room beyond was wide, with low tables and old rugs and a kettle on a coil. A person stood by the kettle, stirring it with a long spoon. They wore a plain coat and had hair the color of iron. They looked at Aaron and Lyra without surprise, as if they had been waiting exactly this long. Welcome, they said. Their voice was not old or young. It was steady. Leave your fear at the threshold. Or at least put it down on the rug so it doesn't spill. Aaron did not move. Who are you? A keeper, they said. I keep doors open that must stay open, and close that must stay closed. They lifted the spoon. Tea? Lyra's lips curved into the smallest smile. Tea would be kind. Aaron eyed the corners. No cameras, no marks, no family symbol. He eased a little. We don't have long, he said. A warden is close. Yes, the keeper said. I can hear his steps in the pipes. He will not enter here. His oath forbids it. Mora stepped in last. She locked the round door and set her device on the table. The healer says the girl needs a second pass. Vision is a wire that wants to hold. Poison is a wire that wants to cut. The keeper nodded. I can weave. They looked at Lyra's band. May I? Lyra lifted her chin. Yes. The keeper dipped fingers in steam and drew a small circle in the air. The air held it like a ring of fog. They placed it over Lyra's band and pressed. The band did not move, but the circle sank into it like oil into cloth. Lyra hissed, then breathed out. Long. Light hurts less, she said. Shapes clearer. Aaron felt hope prick him like a thorn. He did not want to touch it. He kept his eyes on the door. Tracker is cut, Mora said to the keeper. But the family mark is loud. They paint it on walls like prayers. They do more than paint, the keeper said. They bind the lower tunnels with their law. Soon this whole district will sing only their song. Lyra's hands curled. He buys law. He buys men. He buys machines. He does not buy me. The keeper gave her a look like approval. Good. Then you must leave this city by a door he does not know. Where? Aaron asked. The keeper pointed to the far wall. It held a simple wooden frame with no door inside it. Empty. The frame stood alone, leaning against stone. Nothing else, that? Aaron said. That is a hole with no wall. It is a gate with no name, the keeper said. If you step through with an honest heart, it will open to a path. If you step through with a bargain in your teeth, it will bite you. I have no bargains, Aaron said. He thought of the warden's promise. Warm bed, clean food. Buy a name. He shook his head. Only choices. Then listen, the keeper said. When you go through, do not speak your true name. Do not look back. And when the wind asks you a question, answer with a question. Aaron blinked. Why? The keeper smiled. Good, you are ready. Mora checked the locks again. She held out 2 small discs made of dull metal. Put these in your ears. They quiet the lullaby if it comes. The family likes to sing. Lyra took hers and felt its edge. Thank you. Do not thank me, Mora said. We are not safe yet. A new sound touched the room. Not loud. A soft, slow tap, tap, tap like the first fingers of rain. Aaron looked up. Dust fell from the beams. The round door shook once. He found us, Aaron said. No, the keeper said. He found the wall outside this door. He will hammer. He will preach. He will not pass. The door thumped again. A voice rolled through the pipes, smooth as a blade in cloth. Lyra, the warden called. Your father weeps, Lyra straightened. Her band tilted like eyes lifting to meet a threat. Aaron, she said. Do you choose with me? He looked at the frame with no door. He looked at the kettle, the rugs, the faces that had seen many run and some return. He looked at the round door as the warden's slow steps shook dust free. I choose, he said. The keeper lifted a hand. Then step. Aaron took Lyra's hand. It was warmer now. She squeezed his fingers once. They walked to the empty frame. Remember, the keeper said, do not speak your true name. Aaron smiled without humor. I do not have one. That is why you will live, the keeper said. They stepped through the frame. The world bent. For a heartbeat, Aaron felt himself become thinner than a hair and wider than a sea. He felt the city fall away and rise again. He felt a wind that asked a question without words. He asked it back one of his own. The wind laughed. They landed on rough stone, under a sky the color of new ash. A narrow path ran along the side of a black cliff. Far below, a river of light moved like a slow vein. No city sounds, no alarms, only the quiet breath of a world that did not know them yet. Lyra swayed and then stood. She lifted the band a finger's width. Her eyes, hidden before, flashed like wet stone, hurt but alive. I can see a line, she whispered. Thin, but I can follow. Aaron turned to look back at the frame. Lyra's hand caught his chin. Do not look back, she said. He froze, breath held. He stared ahead. The path bent out of sight. The air tasted clean and strange. Now what? He asked. Now, Lyra said. We take something my father cannot own. What? Tomorrow, she said. Behind them, far away in a city that sang a wrong lullaby, the warden's hand touched an old wall and found only stone. Ahead of them, the path waited. And on that path, something waited too. Something that knew Aaron's face from a time before he remembered, and knew Lyra's voice from a dream her father feared. Revelation of truth, the new sky was pale like ash. The path was narrow and rough. Stone scraped Aaron's boots. Wind slid along the cliff and asked quiet questions without words. Aaron did not answer. He kept his eyes forward. He remembered the keeper's rules. Lyra walked beside him now. She still wore the band, but she held it a finger high so thin light could reach. Her eyes were hurt but alive. She saw edges and shadows and a thin white line that ran along the safe part of the path. I can follow the line, she said, but it moves when I doubt. Then don't doubt, Aaron said. She smiled a little. You say it like it is easy. It is not, he said. But it helps. They came to a narrow bridge made of black ribs. The wind was louder here. It carried a smell like rain on hot wire. Halfway across stood a stone pole covered in tiny cuts and marks. Some looked like letters. Some looked like maps. Some were just scratches made by angry hands. The pole spoke. Its voice was the voice of the path itself, dry and simple. Price, it said. Aaron stopped. Price for what? For crossing, the pole said. The gate gives. The path takes. Pay with one thing you can lose and live. Lyra touched the pole and listened. If we pay wrong, we fall. Then we pay right, Aaron said. His throat felt tight. What do we give? Memory, the pole said. A small one, real, not a lie. The path hates lies, Lyra breathed out. I will go first, she closed her eyes. I give the taste of the tea at the gate, she said. Warm and soft like safe hands. I can live without that. The pole held still as if it watched the inside of her head. The wind eased for one breath. Then the pole made a small new cut in its side, neat and sharp. Paid, it said. Lyra let go and swayed. I feel lighter. Or emptier, Aaron said. Both, she said. Aaron looked at the pole. His chest nodded. He did not have many good memories. The ones he had were small and hard. He did not want to give any of them. Price, the pole said again. Aaron swallowed. I pay with the memory of the only warm bed I had. It was in a closed diner near Dock 11. A cook let me sleep there one winter night. The blankets smelled like fried bread. I can live without that, the pole listened. The wind held still. Then the pole cut itself again, low where a child might put a mark. Paid, it said. The bridge ribs shivered, then became firm. The thin white line on the stone grew brighter. Aaron felt cold move through him and out his fingers. He missed the blanket from Dock 11 already. It left him like breath in cold air. They crossed. On the other side, the path widened into a shelf of flat stone. Small towers of rock stood here, stacked by past hands. Each was 7 stones high, no more. Each had a small mark on the top. A star, a circle, a wave, a handprint. Lyra stopped. Her fingers brushed a tower with a handprint small as a leaf. I touched one like this at the gate, she said. This place is connected, Aaron said. A thin thread. He reached for another tower. The top stone had a small scratched symbol on it, a broken circle with a door inside it. It looked like the gate sign, only cracked. When his finger touched it, a sting ran up his arm. Lyra caught his wrist. "Don't!" The sting faded. Under Aaron's skin, something woke like a memory trying to stand. He did not let it. They walked again. The path bent behind a tall rock and then dropped into a narrow cut with walls close to their shoulders. Aaron felt safer here. He could hide here. He could fight here. The wind spoke again, but now the question was clearer. "Who are you?" Aaron answered it with a question of his own. "Who do you think I am?" The wind laughed, soft like paper. It flowed past them and away. They reached a second bridge. This one was a span of woven roots turned to stone. In the middle, a white shape sat on the rail. At first, Aaron thought it was a bird. Then he saw the thin wires on its feet and the camera eye in its chest. "Contract Raven," Lyra whispered. Her mouth went tight. "He uses these to send oaths. If you read the words, you agree. If you agree, you are caught." The Raven tilted its camera and clicked. A small paper slid from a slot under its beak. The letters on it glowed softly. "To the carrier," it said in a child's voice. A familiar song tried to curl under its words, sweet and sick. "Your true name is—" Aaron slapped the paper from the air. It fell face down and slid off the bridge into the dark. The Raven clicked twice, annoyed, and spat another sheet. Aaron caught that one and crushed it without looking. "Go," he said. "Don't listen." Lyra kept her head down. "I hear the song," she said through her teeth. "He ties it to my baby voice. He wants to pull me back like a fish." Aaron hated the sound. It bit the air like sugar knives. He grabbed a loose root from the rail and smashed the Raven. It sparked, shrilled, and dropped into the chasm. Silence rushed in, clean and cold. Lyra breathed out. "Thank you." Aaron flexed his hands. He could still feel the paper's soft drag on his fingers. He did not like that feeling. They crossed the second bridge and found a slope of pale stone that led down to a wide, flat place. In the middle stood a frame like the one at the keeper's room. Wood, simple, empty. The air around it shimmered a little. "Another gate?" Aaron said. "A mirror of one," Lyra said. "Not open, but near." A figure stood by the frame. For a breath, Aaron thought it was the keeper. Then the figure turned. It was Mora. Her silver hair was tied back. Her coat was cut shorter for running. A new burn marked her neck, fresh and dark. She held her device in a long case. "How?" Aaron began. "Debt runs both ways," Mora said. She looked tired, but her eyes were sharp. I cut a second line. "I found the echo of this frame from the other side." "You followed us through the gate?" Aaron asked. "I followed the gate's shadow," she said. "Not the same, but close enough to talk." She set the case on the ground and opened it. Inside lay a folded cloth, a coil of wire, a short rod with a black button, and a small knife with a handle of dull glass. "This is for cutting threads," Mora said, touching the knife. "Not wrist oaths." Lyra touched the handle. The glass glowed a little. "It likes me," she said. "It should," Mora said. "It was made to find you," Aaron stared. "By who?" "By someone who chose you before you chose yourself," Mora said. She looked at Aaron now, not Lyra. "Listen." The healer sent a message through the pipes. The warden broke the clinic's outer halls, but he did not take the inner room. "The keeper is safe, but the city is not. The mob boss called a lockdown right. He can close all the legal doors in the lower districts for 3 days. No trade, no travel, only his law." Lyra's face went still. "He will starve people to make them sell me." "Yes," Mora said. "He will buy the hunger itself. He will call it duty." Aaron felt anger rise clean and hot again. "We have to move faster," he said. "What is this frame?" "Where does it go?" "Skystep Bazaar," Mora said. "A market above the city wind. No law stays long there. People sell things that are not things, names, maps, even tomorrows sometimes. You can cross from this path to its edge if the frame wakes." "How do we wake it?" Aaron asked. "Truth," Mora said. "And a spark." "I have the spark." She lifted the rod with the black button. "You bring the truth." Lyra swallowed. Her fingers found the metal band on her wrist. The oath thread scar the healer cut was closed now, but the skin around it looked thin. "What truth?" she asked. Mora looked at Aaron. "His." Aaron blinked. "Me?" Mora nodded. "He does not have a true name, good. That kept him alive. But he does have a first truth. He has walked with it so long that he thinks it is only weight. It is a key." Aaron felt the path inside him open a little like a mouth. Cold slid in. "I have nothing," he said plain. "You have a song," Mora said. The lullaby the warden turned.
You knew it before he played it.
That is why you killed the raven fast. Your body knew the shape of that trap. Aaron went very still. I heard it a long time ago. I do not know where. Mora's voice softened. You had a mother once. Everyone does, Aaron said. Not everyone remembers, Mora said. Yours was a runner. She opened small doors for lost people. She paid the keeper with her hands and her sleep. She sang by the docks to keep you quiet when she met clients. The song the mob stole is her song. Lyra's gaze turned toward Aaron. Your mother worked with Gates. Many did, Mora said. The boss hates the Gates because he cannot own them, so he buys the people who use them. When your mother refused, he burned her shop. You were 5. A woman carried you out. That woman was me. The path tilted under Aaron's feet. He sat without meaning to. He saw heat orange and loud. He saw a hand that smelled like diesel pulling him through smoke. He saw a silver thread where hair should be. He heard a song in a voice trying not to break. I forgot, he said. The words tasted like metal. I forgot on purpose. That was wise, Mora said. But now you must remember enough to wake this frame. Lyra knelt by him. Her fingers found his. You do not have to carry this alone, she said. Aaron closed his eyes. He searched for the memory like a small light under dirty water. He found a piece, a circle of warm arms, a voice saying his name in a way that made the world safe. Not a city name, a soft one like wind. He did not speak it. He spoke the truth he could bear. My mother loved doors she could not own. She taught me 2 things. Do not sell what is not yours and do not look back when the wind laughs. I forgot her face. I did not forget those rules. Mora raised the rod. Spark? Spark, Aaron said. Mora pressed the button. A thin white flame slid along the rod and touched the frame's empty center. The air there trembled. It pushed back like a held breath. It became a skin of light, soft and silver, like water that had decided to pretend to be a mirror. The frame woke. On the surface, shapes moved. Stalls and cloth banners, ropes and wheels, boots and bare feet, tables with jars of light, tools that hummed, old coins that sang when touched. The Skystep Bazaar looked like a dream that had learned to build. Aaron stood. Lyra stood with him. Mora stepped back. Go, Mora said. I will close the shadow path behind you and cut any thread I can reach. Meet a woman named Sarah at a stall with blue glass. She sells maps of places that do not stay still. She knows who hates your father more than he hates losing. Lyra lifted her chin. Thank you, Mora. Mora's mouth tilted. Don't thank me yet. We are not safe. A new sound struck the air. It came from everywhere and nowhere. A single soft knock. Then another. Then another. 3 in all. Aaron's skin crawled. Warden? No, Mora said. Worse. The light on the frame shivered. A slow shadow slid across it like a hand moving over a lamp. The bizarre shapes bent. People inside felt something and looked up. Some ran, some laughed. 1 or 2 simply stared. A voice rolled along the stone. It was not the warden's tired engine voice. It was smooth, warm, and wrong, like sweet wine hiding poison.
Aaron, it said, and the sound knew where to touch.
My daughter brings you trouble, but I bring you peace. Lyra's fingers crushed Aaron's hand. Do not listen. The voice smiled without lips. Aaron, it said again, softer. Your true name is... Aaron did not cover his ears. He did not run. He did not speak. He did what the keeper told him. He answered with a question. Whose voice are you using to say it? He asked. For 1 heartbeat, the shadow on the frame shook. The sweet tone cracked and showed iron. The name, his name, hung in the air, half-born, then broke like glass. The voice turned cold. Very well, it said. You want truth before price. Here is a small one. Your mother died because she chose strangers over you. Walk through. Find the rest. Or come back. I will make it stop hurting. Lyra's breath hitched. He lies. Half lies, Mora said. The worst kind. Aaron's face felt like stone. His hands shook, but his feet knew what to do. He took 1 step. He took another. He and Lyra stood before the frame. Do not look back, Lyra whispered as much to herself as to him. Do not speak, Aaron said. Do not bargain, Mora added. They stepped through. Cold light kissed their skin and then turned warm. Voices rose bright and sharp like bells in wind. The smell of fried spice and fresh metal wrapped them. The Skystep Bazaar opened around them. moving on ropes high over a deep blue gorge. Traders on boards rolled by. Children ran with kites made of thin steel. A woman with a coat of coins laughed as a man sold a jar that held last summer's rain. Aaron's heart thudded. He wanted to stare at everything. He did not. He kept his eyes on a stall with panes of blue glass that caught the sky and broke it into pieces. Behind them, on the stone path they had left, the shadow leaned in close to the sleeping frame and whispered the name that Aaron did not hear. Ahead of them, the woman at the blue glass stall looked up. She knew Lyra's face. She knew Aaron's steps. And she knew a map that showed a road the mob boss feared, because it did not run on ground at all. A last pursuit wind sang through the Skystep Bazaar. Platforms hung from thick ropes over a deep blue gorge. Bridges swayed. Stalls shone. Kites of thin steel hissed overhead like silver birds. The world moved and never touched the ground. Aaron kept Lyra close. He watched every rope, every knot, every shadow. The stall of blue glass stood near the center. A woman waited there with sleeves rolled up and scars on both wrists. Her eyes were quick and kind, the kind that still knew how to fight. "Sarah?" Aaron asked. She nodded. "You came fast. Good. You will need faster." She looked at Lyra's band and then at her face. "You can see a little. A thin line," Lyra said. "It shakes when I doubt." "Then I will give you lines that do not shake," Sarah said. She lifted a tray of blue tiles. Each tile held a thread of silver inside it, like a frozen lightning strike. She set 3 tiles on the counter in a triangle and blew across them. The silver threads woke and formed a soft web in the air. "This is a map of the threadway," Sarah said. "It is a road that is not a road. It is a song written on wind. If you walk it, the city cannot catch you because the city has no feet here." "How do we step on a song?" Aaron asked. "With tuning stones," Sarah said. She slid 2 small round stones forward. "You hang these at your hips. They pull the threadway close when you move right." "And when we move wrong?" Aaron said. "You fall where there is nothing," Sarah said. "Simple." Lyra touched a tile. The silver thread inside bent to her finger and made a small bell sound. "I can hear it," she whispered. "It is like the line I see, only clear." "Good," Sarah said. "But the threadway asks for a promise of tomorrow. It will not open for people who want only today." Aaron felt the words like a hand on his chest. "What promise?" "Something you will do if you live," Sarah said. "Not a wish, a task. Say it and mean it." Aaron looked at Lyra. She stood straight. The wind moved the end of her band. Her jaw was set. "I will free the healer's district from my father's law," she said. "I will open their doors and keep them open." The air around the tiles brightened. Thin silver threads climbed from the glass and hung between the 3 stones like a small bridge. Sarah looked at Aaron. "And you?" He swallowed. Promises were dangerous things. He had so little. He wanted to keep all that was left. "I will find a home that does not belong to a gang or a guard," he said, voice low. "And when I find it, I will open it to others like me." The wind leaned in. It listened. The silver web pulled tight and made a clear note. The note ran along the ropes and out into the gorge like light. Sarah smiled with only her eyes. "The threadway heard you." She fastened the tuning stones at their hips. She tied soft cords from stone to stone around their waists so they could not lose them. Then she set the 3 blue tiles in a row at the edge of the platform and pressed her palm to them. "Step here when I say," she said. "Place your feet where the silver glows. Do not look down. Do not stop. If the wind asks you a question, answer with a question." "We learned that," Aaron said. "Then learn it again," Sarah said. A tremor ran through the ropes underfoot. Laughter died. Some traders went quiet. Others began to pack fast. Sarah's head tilted. "He comes." Aaron felt it too. A weight, a law, a slow, even step that did not belong in a place like this. He turned. The warden stood on the far platform, taller than any man there, armor dark and breathing. He had no eyes, only the long mask slit with cold mist inside. Hunters in gray stepped behind him with long rifles at low carry. Drones rose like bugs from under the bridge. The crowd moved. Some stepped aside because fear tells feet what to do. Some spat and stayed. A child with a steel kite stood on a rail and stared like at a story. The warden did not raise his voice. "He did not need to, Lyra," he said. "Your father closes the lower city for 3 days. He will trade hunger for your return. Come now and end their pain." Sarah spoke without turning. "He does not end pain. He rents it." The warden's mask turned to her. "Sarah of the blue glass," he said. "You owe the mob 3 doors." Sarah lifted her hand. Old scars on her wrists flashed. I owe nothing to cages. Aaron felt the tune in the air change. A sweet note slid along the ropes like honey. The lullaby again. Not loud, sharp. It snagged the ear and tugged. Discs, Mora had said. Aaron pushed the dull metal disc into his ear and gave the other to Lyra. The sweet note went thin, then dull. It still tried to scratch, but it could not dig. Some in the crowd did not have discs. A trader dropped his cups as tears ran down his face. A woman stepped toward the warden as if sleepwalking. A hunter reached out a hand to help her, kind and cruel together. Now, Sarah said and pressed the tiles. Silver light climbed up like a quick ladder and made a narrow bridge of air. It shivered, then held. Go, Sarah said. Aaron stepped. The air under his boot was not air. It was something thin and tense like a drum skin. It bent a little and then pushed back. He took another step. Silver glowed under him in lines that ran forward out into nothing. Lyra stepped beside him. She did not look down. She kept her head up and her body loose. The tuning stones hummed at their hips. The threadway sang back, faint and clear. They moved. Behind them, the warden lifted his hand. A drone shot forward, small, fast, and angry. A child with a steel kite threw his line. The kite cut the drone in half with a sweet hiss. Both halves fell and spun away into blue. The warden did not stop. He walked to the edge and stepped onto the air. For a breath, Aaron hoped he would fall. He did not. The warden's armor had its own stones. They were bigger, hidden, and they hummed like deep bells. The threadway bent for him too because law is heavy even here. Faster, Aaron said. They did not run. Running made the silver shake. They moved quick and careful. The bridge of air coiled around a rope tower and passed over a gap where wind climbed like a living thing. The smell of oil and spice and bright metal fell away. The gorge air was clean, cold. A hunter fired. The line of heat cut above Aaron's shoulder and vanished. Another shot came. It went wide because the wind pushed it. Keep your steps even, Sarah called from the stall. Her voice reached like a hand. When the thread dips, dip your knees. When it rises, rise, they listened. The lines under their feet dipped, rose, curved, tightened. The threadway led them to a tall anchor post where a dozen cables met like a star. A small platform hung there, big enough for 3 people to stand. Stop here, Lyra said, breath quick. There is a turn. I can hear it. They stopped on the small platform. It swung. The silver ahead split. One line to the left toward a fog bank, one to the right toward a thin spire with prayer rags. Which? Aaron asked. The fog hides, Lyra said. The rags pray. My father owns prayers. He buys them with food. He cannot buy fog. Left, Aaron said. A shadow fell over them. The warden landed on the same anchor post with a soft metal thud. The platform swung hard. Aaron grabbed a rope. Lyra bent her knees and kept her balance like a dancer on a moving floor. The warden's voice was calm. You will tire. Maybe, Aaron said. You too. I do not tire, the warden said. I only end. His hand rose. A thin blade slid out, bright and quiet. He threw it not at them, but at the silver line to the left. The blade kissed the thread and made it flicker. Lyra gasped. He can cut songs. Aaron's mind went sharp. He looked at the anchor post, at the ropes, at the knots. He looked at the prayer rags on the right route, bright and simple. He looked at the fog bank, deep and hungry. He did a thing the street taught him. He chose the thing that was not a choice. He grabbed the rope above the platform and yanked a knot free. The platform dropped 1 arm's length. The warden staggered. Just a small step, but enough. The thrown blade missed the heart of the thread and cut only a hair from its edge. The silver line shook and then healed. Aaron tied the knot with a new twist. The platform steadied again. The warden tilted his head. Street tricks, he said. Noted. He stepped forward. Aaron lifted the small glass-handled knife Mora had given them. He had kept it hidden under his jacket. The glass caught the silver in the air and hummed. Back, Aaron said, or I cut your oath. My oath is to law, the warden said. Law to who? Aaron asked. The warden was silent. The question hung. The wind took it and showed it to the thread. For a breath, the threadway seemed to lean away from the warden. His steps lost a music Aaron had not known he could hear. Go, Lyra whispered. He does not own questions. They stepped onto the left line toward the fog. The silver underfoot sang. The fog rose, soft and white, and tried to wrap their ankles like curious hands. The discs in their ears warmed. The lullaby scratched at the edge and fell. Behind them, the warden followed. He did not rush. He did not run. He came like winter. The fog cooled Aaron's face. It smelled like clean water and something else, something old and listening. The silver path bent down, then up, then into a slow spiral around nothing. Aaron's legs burned. His feet hurt. He kept moving. A loud crack split the air. Not a gun. A rope. One of the main lines holding a far platform broke. It snapped back, whipping through the air like a giant snake. It cut across the threadway ahead and tore 3 bright lines into sparks. People screamed on the far platform as it lurched and hung by 2 ropes instead of 3. Banners fell. Fruit rolled. A bag of coins burst and flashed like small stars. The thread ahead quivered. The line they were on thinned as if the world had sucked its breath. Lyra reached for Aaron's hand and found it. "Do not stop," she said. Her voice shook now, but her feet did not. "Trust the line." Aaron trusted the line. He did a thing his body knew from 1,000 alleys. He dropped. He let his knees go loose and let the world pass over him. The rope hissed above his head and took a piece of his hair. The line shivered under his boots. He rose in the same motion and stepped twice, quick, like walking across a moving train. The line held. They cleared the whip of rope and slid into the heart of the fog. The world went white. The silver glowed under them like moon water. Aaron could not see the warden. He could feel the weight of him like a storm behind a wall. "Almost," Lyra whispered. "I hear the end of this verse. There is a landing." "Then we land," Aaron said. A shadow formed in the white. A small platform hung there, hidden and plain, with a bell and a bowl and a piece of cloth. They stepped onto it. The silver line ended at its edge and waited, humming like a friend who would leave when asked. Aaron's chest heaved. His hands shook. Lyra's band was wet with fog. Her eyes behind it were bright. "We did it," she said, half a laugh. A hand as big as a shovel clamped the platform's edge. The warden pulled himself up out of the white and stepped on. The platform dipped with his weight. The bell rang once, soft. No crowd here, no kites. No Sarah. Only the 3 of them, the fog, and the bell's echo. "End," the warden said. He reached for Lyra. Aaron moved first. He swung the glass-handled knife, not at the warden's armor, but at the badge over where a heart should be. The badge held the family mark in cold steel. The glass hummed louder. It wanted this. The knife touched the badge. The badge screamed, not loud, deep. The sound crawled through metal and into bone. The warden staggered for the 2nd time in his life. The mist in his mask flared. Lights under his armor broke rhythm. Lyra pressed both hands to the badge and pushed. Not hard, true. The band at her eyes pulsed. For a breath her sight burned bright. She saw more than lines. She saw the oath itself written like a chain. She cut it. The badge cracked down the middle like ice in spring. The warden froze. Fog curled. The bell rang again, cold and small. Aaron did not wait to see what the warden would become without that chain. He grabbed Lyra's wrist. "Jump," he said. "Where?" she asked. "Forward," he said. Into the verse. They jumped off the hidden platform into white air. The threadway reached for them. Thin. Late, but there. They fell. And a new silver line lit up under their feet. Bright as a blade kissed by sun, they hit it hard and slid, then caught balance. Behind, the warden stood on the small platform. Badge split. Oath smoking. Mask turned toward a world that did not answer him the same way anymore. Ahead, the new line ran not back to the bazaar, but out across the gorge toward a dark cliff mouth shaped like a door. Lyra's breath shook. Aaron's heart hammered. "Where does this go?" he asked. Lyra listened. The line hummed in her bones. "To a place my father cannot buy," she said. "To the name he fears." "What name?" Aaron asked. She faced the dark door. The band hit her eyes, but her voice knew. "Your mother's last one," she said. The line pulled them on. The fog thinned. The door grew. And inside that door a voice waited that would make Aaron choose again. This time between the truth that could save them and the truth that could break the city. The final choice. The silver path carried them to a mouth in the cliff. The mouth was tall and dark, shaped like a door that forgot its frame. Cold air flowed out. It smelled like rain and old wood. Aaron and Lyra stepped onto a ledge just inside. The threadway dimmed behind them, then held like a thin rope waiting. "This is it," Lyra said, voice small but steady. "The place my father fears. They faced a slab of stone set deep in the wall. Carved lines ran across it like a music score. Some lines were broken, some were whole. At the center sat a small bronze bell, black with age. A whisper rose from the stone, soft and clear. Open for a true name, or a true promise paid now. Lyra's fingers tightened on Aaron's sleeve. If you speak your true name to this door, it binds you, she said. You will belong to the gate, you will be its keeper. Aaron looked at the bell. He heard the city in his bones, the drones, the guards, the hungry nights. He heard the bizarre ropes creak. He heard the healer's calm voice, Mora's knife on oath, Sarah's quick hands, the keeper's quiet tea. He also heard the lullaby again, but not twisted. A low memory, a woman humming to keep fear small. It lived under his ribs like a coal that never died. A shadow moved at the edge of the ledge. The warden stepped from the white fog onto the stone, oath badge cracked, lights under his armor out of rhythm. He did not lift his gun. He did not raise a hand. Without the badge, he looked less like a wall and more like a man who had been turned into one too long. End, he said, but there was no engine in his voice now. Only wait, Aaron raised the glass-handled knife. Stay back, the warden stopped. He studied the bell, the carved lines, the door. When he spoke, his voice was slow. I know this place, Lyra's head turned. From before? Before I was warden, he said. When I had a name that was mine. He touched the cracked badge. He bought my oath with a grave and a promise. The grave was my brother's. The promise was lies. Wind slid into the mouth of the door and asked its quiet question. Aaron answered with one of his own. What opens this door without taking me? The wind laughed, and the carved lines on the stone glowed a thin blue. New words surfaced like fish in clear water. Ring the bell with a hand that owes no price. The ring will break bought law. The ringer will wear a burden. Lyra exhaled. If you ring it, the lockdown right breaks. The healer district opens. The city breathes. But the burden, keeper's chain, the warden said, looking at Aaron. You become the thing between doors. Not a prisoner. Not free. Aaron's mouth went dry. He had promised a home that did not belong to gangs, guards, or hunger. A real place. If he took the chain, would he still build it? Or would he live between doors, always leaving just as someone reached for him? A voice flowed into the cave, smooth and warm and wrong, like sweet wine over rust. It did not come from the warden. It came from the stone itself, borrowed like stolen light. Aaron, the mob boss said, little carrier. Brave boy, set the bell down, walk away. Bring my daughter back. I will lift my right, I will feed your streets. I will buy you a home with windows. Lyra's face went hard. He buys with one hand and steals with the other. Aaron didn't answer the voice. He asked the door another question. What is the burden? To hold the path clean, the door whispered. To keep songs from chains. To stand where law forgets people. To be called when gates cry. The warden stepped closer. He stopped an arm's length away and set his mask in his hands. It came free with a soft seal sound. Under it was a face marked by work and years. Not old, not young. Tired. His eyes were human and very dark. My true name is Ibn Ral, he said, and the stone shivered, as if the world remembered. I remember it now that his badge is broken. I remember the bell, too. Aaron stared. Why tell me? Because I have ended too many things I should have mended, Ibn said. Because your mother brought me to this door once. The air changed. What? Aaron said, voice thin. Ibn's gaze went somewhere far. A night of smoke, he said. She had ash in her hair and a boy on her hip. Men chased. She rang the bell with a hand no one had bought. The lockdown rite of that year died in one sound. She sent the boy through a small door I could not see. She told me to guard the big one a little while, and I did. Then I forgot. Lyra's hand found Aaron's. He means you. Aaron's chest felt tight. Heat filled his face. He saw smoke and coin light and a bronze bell. He saw a hand with small scars and a ring that was only wire. He saw eyes like his own. The boss's voice slid across the stone, softer now, almost kind. Aaron, your mother kept doors. And look where it put her. Come to me. I will make your life easy. I will give you a name that matters. You can stop carrying other people. The lullaby rose under the words sweet and wrong and tried to make the cave soft. The discs in Aaron's ears warmed and dulled the sugar. He heard the thing below it, the cold metal that wanted him to bend. He spoke plain. I will not sell what is not mine. The voice cooled. Then sell what is yours. Aaron looked at the bell. He looked at Lyra. He looked at Ibn Ra'al, who had been a wall and now was a man with his face uncovered. He saw 3 roads: ring the bell himself and wear the chain. Save the city now. Lose the home he promised, or turn that home into a hallway for everyone else. Refuse, run, and keep his small freedom while the city starved for 3 days, and the boss bought more souls with food. Let someone else pay the price. Ibn stepped forward. His eyes were steady. Let me ring it, he said. I wore a chain for the wrong man. Let me carry the right one. Lyra shook her head. He will hunt you for it. He will break you to make an example. Ibn's mouth twisted. He already broke me. He just called it service. Aaron's promise burned in his chest. Find a home not owned by gangs or guards and open it to others like me. A keeper could still build a home, only different. A home that was a door for all. But he would not sleep much. He would leave when the gates cried. He would be a wind more than a wall. He touched the bell with one finger. It was cold. It felt like waiting. I made a promise, Aaron said. Lyra's hand tightened on his. And I made one, she said. To free the healer district. The bell breaks the right. After that, I make sure it cannot return. I burn the buying board. I break the market of pain. The boss's voice smiled. Come try, little blind girl. Lyra lifted her chin. I see you enough. Aaron met Ibn's eyes. If you ring it, he said, do you become the keeper? Ibn nodded. Yes. Then you choose it, Aaron said. Not because you owe. Because you decide, Ibn breathed out. I decide, the door listened. The carved music glowed. Aaron stepped back. He kept his knife ready. He watched the fog. He watched the thread. He watched Ibn Ra'al lift his hand and place it on the bell like a man touching a grave and a cradle at once. Ibn spoke, and he did not whisper. My name is Ibn Ra'al. I ring for the free. I ring for doors no one owns. He rang the bell. Sound ran like water over hot stone. It rolled out of the cave and down the threadway and across the bazaar ropes and through the lower city streets. It entered the healer district like rain after a long summer. It touched the lockdown right and found the knots and undid them like a mother's hands. Shutters opened. Sealed gates slid up. Market lights flicked on. Drones paused and fell. Guards blinked and looked at their hands empty of orders. Somewhere the healer lifted their head and smiled. The keeper poured tea and nodded at the world. The boss's voice cracked. It turned hard and old. His words died. Bought law broke. Papers curled. Contracts peeled off walls and burned as if air itself refused them. Ibn staggered. The bell's echo went on, softer, deeper. New lines wrote themselves along his arms and across his chest. Not chains, but paths. He swayed and then stood straight as if the sound held him up. The warden was gone. The keeper stood there. He looked at Aaron and Lyra. There was pain in his eyes and something like peace. Go, he said. The right is broken. The city breathes. He will try new tricks. He will come with blood law next. But for a breath, people can move. Use it. Lyra's eyes were wet under the band. Thank you, Ibn nodded. Keep your promises. That will hurt him more than any blade. The boss's voice slid back, thin and mean. Enjoy your little breath. I call the chain of blood now. Any who carry my daughter owe me their heartbeat by beat. Aaron, when yours stops, I will take it back. Lyra flinched. Aaron's jaw set. He did not speak to the voice. He spoke to the wind. What breaks a blood chain? He asked. The wind laughed. The carved lines flashed. New words rose. Blood chain breaks when the bound are adopted by a house with no owner. House with no owner. Aaron felt his promise click into place like a gear. I will build it, he said low. A home that belongs to no one and to all. A place where chains do not hold. Lyra turned her face toward him. We build it. Behind them, the threadway brightened, ready to carry them back toward the living city. Ibn touched the bell once more. Go, he said, voice a little softer now. Sarah will lead you to the healer's square. Mora will cut what threads she finds. The keeper will open the right doors. Make the first room. Light the first lamp. Do not sell it. Aaron took Lyra's hand. It was warm. He felt the thin line of her sight steady now. He felt his own fear, smaller than before, but still there. He felt the city waiting, hungry for a different kind of law. They stepped onto the silver path. The cliff mouth fell behind them. The bell's last note rode the wind, high above. In a cold tower full of bought songs and quiet knives, a man with soft hands and dead eyes pressed his fingers together and smiled a thin smile. War, then? The mob boss said to the room. At dawn. In the gorge air, the threadway sang back, clear and bright, as two small figures ran toward a promise, toward a first door that no one could own.